everyone, thank you for joining me today for another Illustrator tutorial. Today we are going to make this cool chicken, cluck cluck mother clucka, and we are going to be using envelope distort as well as the pen tool. So to begin, I'm going to show you my source image over here. I'm going to turn the layers off that I've already done. So what I'm going to do is create a new layer and rename it chicken. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit P for my pen tool. I'm going to make sure that there's nothing applied to it, no stroke and no fill. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on this chicken, and I am going to hand trace it really quickly. Right, so we are finished with our chicken. And so what I did to get this nice red color is I just sampled from the chicken's little gobble. Is that what the thing is? Little gobbly gobble. Now it might not be exactly the same red as the other one. You can see it's a little different because I didn't get the exact pixel sampling, but I still like this red, so I'm gonna go with it. So I'm gonna move him over. What I am going to do now, and let's just go back and look at the original. So we've got this cool text that's filling up the shape of the chicken. So what I'm going to do is, let me turn these guys off. I'm going to make one more layer for our text. And then I'm going to make one line that says cluck, oop, cluck, 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 cluck. Wow, there we go. And I am going to position this where I want the line to start. So I kind of want it to fill this section. I'm going to scale it up a little bit to kind of fill that space. And then I'm also going to change it to white because I like that contrast more than black. And so how the envelope distort works is you kind of want a section for each of these letters. So for this I have 10 letters and then there's a space right here. So I'm going to want 11 little sections for that. So let me show you what I mean. With our text selected, we're going to go to Object, Envelope Distort, and we are going to make this with Mesh. And so if you click on Preview, you can see that there are these sections here, and so that's rows, and then up and down is columns. And so we want 11 columns so that we can fill each of our letters and then one for the space. So if I go down one, you can kind of see that these little sections fill in these letters quite nicely. And then I wanted one row just so that I had little anchor points in the middle so I could have a little bit more flexibility on the sides. So when I'm pulling this up, I have a little bit more flexibility. So now that we have our text, and I'm going to change this color. I'm going to change the text layer color so we can kind of have a little bit more contrast. That is better. So I'm going to use my anchor point tool, and the hotkey for that is A. And what I'm first going to do is I'm going to just drag these up and then kind of over where I want it to be. Same with this. I'm just going to drag it up, drag it up. And then on this side, we'll do the same. Drag it up and drag it over. Up. And this one can be a little bit more over too. So just kind of do that with all of the letters. And then I'm going to go to my middle section. And I'm going to just pull that up so that I have a little bit more flexibility with this little bump there. And then I want them all to kind of come down nicely so it's not just one big drop. So I'm going to bring them all up just a little bit. I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to bring this up and over to kind of have this little curve happening. And then the same, I'm going to bring these anchor points up just a little bit. And as you can see, when I'm done, I have all of these bumps. And that's because the anchor points are all going, with their handles are going straight. So what I'm going to do next is go in and adjust those handles so that they have nice smooth lines going on. So I'm gonna lower this one, and then we'll go over here. And again, I'm gonna speed this up because you guys understand the gist of it, and I don't want you to have to sit here with me being meticulous. So here we go. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end for the cluck cluck. And then we're going to type out our mother clucka. And that's on one line. And so that is 11 characters with one space. So we're going to go, I'm going to make this white again. And we'll go to our envelope distort under object, envelope distort, make with mesh. And this time I'm going to make the columns 12. And it doesn't quite match up with everything, but that's okay. It'll be still pretty flexible to work with that. And I'm going to make it just a tad smaller, bring it up here. So we're gonna go kind of opposite with this one. We're gonna bring these all down. So I'll just grab a bunch of these little points and drag them down. And then I'll just shift select so that I can get rid of the ones I don't want. And I'm holding shift as I drag these down, and that will create a nice straight line. Oop. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this one too. Oop. Dragging them down. Cool. And then I'll go in and I'll kind of custom pull some of these down that have a little bit more interesting little shapes that we're dealing with. Okay. And then again, let's grab these. Let's see. I'm just gonna select all of those. Oop. Shift hold and drag those down. I'm digging it. Alright, so I'm going to go through again and just adjust these anchor points so that they have a nice curve to them. Alright, and there you have it. And then what's cool is when you're all done, and if you don't want to edit this anymore with the envelope distort, you can select your envelope distort objects, go to object, envelope distort, and expand. And then it'll expand your characters so that they're all fills. Thank you for joining me today for this tutorial showing you how to use envelope distort as well as a little review of the pen tool. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave those in the comments down below. And if you would like to see more tutorials every Wednesday, subscribe!